Welcome to Mind Your Health podcast, dedicated to empowering you on your journey to optimal wellness. I'm your host, Dr. Connie, bringing over 25 years of experience in psychology, nutrition, physical therapy, functional medicine, and yoga. Together, we'll explore the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, providing you with the practical insights and holistic strategies to elevate your health. Let's dive into today's episode and take a step closer to a healthier, more vibrant you.
Hi, this is Dr. Connie, and I hope you guys are all doing great. This is January, almost to the end of January 2025. Sometimes I can't even fathom how fast time flies. Today's an important topic. I've been thinking a lot about health, holistic wellness, and all things related to health, and the journey that I've been going through with an autoimmune condition when I was in my 20s, to living with that condition, having 2 children, getting into my middle age, and then having kidney failure. It was something that was forewarned to me. Having been diagnosed with lupus, I know that that was always a potential, and yes, my kidneys were affected 3 times, but it was unscathed all 3 times that my lupus attacked my kidneys. And this time in 2021, with my post-COVID vaccination, something stirred up within me, my immune function, and it destroyed my kidneys. So I've had to live with the consequences of that. And I think a lot about everything that I know I threw at myself and been applying it. And there's a lot of insights and wisdom that I've gathered over the years. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about today. And going forward with my content, I just want to be really real with you guys about what works, what doesn't, and how individualized the healing process really is, and why we don't talk enough about the hidden root causes, why true causes are often overlooked in the realm of functional medicine. Even though we talk so much about it, we're still following the biochemical, tangible evidence as the root cause, and oftentimes the root causes are not something that can be measured. So the root cause, or the term root cause, implies something foundational. It's hidden beneath the surface, where it's not immediately apparent. Yet, many practitioners, especially in functional medicine, attempt to uncover root causes by focusing on lab results, biochemical imbalances, or tangible markers. While these metrics are helpful, they often represent still the effects, not the cause, rather than the actual cause. In other words, they show what's happening in the body, but not why it's happening in the first place. Really have to think about this practically. Think of it like this. If a tree is sick, you might see browning leaves or weak branches. The leaves are measurable symptoms like blood sugar levels, hormonal imbalances, or inflammatory markers. And treating the leaves might temporarily improve their appearance. Still, if the underlying issue is poor soil or lack of water, factors not immediately visible, the tree's health will continue to decline. And this is what I see time and time again. In health, the soil and water often represent the intangible factors. These are your thoughts, emotions, chronic stress due to past traumatic events, and behavioral patterns as coping mechanisms. It's like a survival skill that we all learn. And these are the factors that drive the body's physiological response, so we can't ignore those things. And these are difficult to measure with lab tests, but they are the true root causes behind many chronic imbalances, including mine. So let's talk a little bit about the unseen drivers of chronic imbalance. Number 1, thoughts and beliefs shape your biology. You really have to hone in on that. Your beliefs and thought patterns influence how your body responds to stress And if you believe the world is safe or unsafe, or you're constantly worried about your health, your brain triggers a fight or flight sympathetic response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline. And over time, this persistent state of alarm in your body wears down your endocrine system, which is your hormones. It disrupts hormonal production and taxes your thyroid as well as adrenal glands. It's not one or the other. Both are affected. And lab tests may show cortisol spikes or sluggish thyroid, which is commonly checked in functional medicine. But the cause, the chronic fear-based thinking, remains unaddressed, and oftentimes these are thoughts that you don't even know that you're thinking. So let me give you a little analogy, like the alarm system. Imagine a house alarm that goes off every time the wind blows. You can keep resetting the alarm, treating the symptoms, but the alarm will continue to disrupt your peace unless you adjust the sensitivity settings, your mindset and stress response. Number 2 is that feelings drive physiological reactions as well, which are often completely ignored in our society. There are many of us living with unresolved emotions like grief, anger, or chronic anxiety, which lead to physical symptoms over time. And this is something I've noticed. I felt a lot of anger and resentment, and I didn't even know I was carrying them because I would swallow all of it for my lifetime until it caught up with me. And anytime somebody triggers me, I would blast off into this anger, rage, and I didn't know where it was coming from. It felt I was really shamed by it, but also it made me look a little further to really understand where this reaction is coming from. So, for example, suppressed anger can manifest as tension, headaches, or digestive issues, which I had chronically, while chronic anxiety can lead to irritable bowel syndrome, both of which I've had. And functional medicine might recommend dietary changes or supplements, something behavioral that you can do right away to address IBS. But the root cause, the unresolved emotional pattern, is often completely ignored. Even if you feel like you're healed from it today and is not bothered by it, a lot of us live with this deep down, like buried deep down in our psyche, that it does manifest in our subconscious mind. So, another analogy that I can give you is emotional fuel for the fire. Because if your feelings are like logs on a fire, constantly adding fuel will keep the flames burning. And supplements might act like water splashed on the flames. But the fire won't truly go out until you stop adding logs. And emotional awareness and processing are key to preventing the fire from reigniting. And the problem is, most of us, including myself, have not learned to properly feel the emotions. We've learned a lot of coping mechanisms, especially if you're a woman, hormonal. If you cry a lot and emotions come up, it's not something we want to show. It's inappropriate. We're told to, shut that down and just focus on what we need to do. And growing up, whenever we cry, we try to please the little ones with candy or something to make them stop crying. We don't like to see any of this on display. And so these are things that all factor in to our inability to feel the feelings. Number 3 is that actions stem from thoughts and our feelings. Every action we take, from what we eat to how we move, which are the things we try to change bluntly in any type of a setting, it's important to understand that it's influenced by our mindset. And stress-driven behaviors often include poor eating habits, sleep deprivation, and sedentary lifestyles. And these behaviors lead to measurable issues like weight gain, insulin resistance, and poor sleep quality. Now, for me, I've had lots of roller coaster-like relationship with my food. I grew up with my mom, really heavily focused on outward appearance. A woman should be a certain size, eat a certain way, and always be on a chronic diet for the rest of her life and exercise like crazy if you slipped, right? So there was a lot of shame and judgment for the food choices that you make. So I have a very complicated relationship with my food, and I never knew this because that was my norm. And a lot of us, as I treat my patients, these are the issues that they bring, is that a lot of them don't know this complexity underneath the surface. And let me just say, these behaviors lead to measurable issues like weight gain, insulin resistance, and poor sleep quality. And again, functional and holistic doctors may focus on treating these effects, not the cause, with elimination diets, supplements, or hormone therapy after testing the biochemistry. But these interventions offer only short-term relief without addressing the underlying thought patterns and lifestyle stressors. I'm not saying these tests are not important. It gives us insight. But for me as a patient, having been through the functional medicine route and spent a lot of money in these things, when I really practically look at it, would I want to put my money on the solution of me healing, or do I want to find the problem that I already know I have? So over the years, I've come to really understand my body and my psyche and my emotions and the limiting beliefs that I chose to hold. And let me tell you, from somebody who is so analytical, so scientific, this was a hard pill to swallow. I totally resisted this concept for as long as I can remember. But I was drawn to it. Like the practice of yoga is why I founded the functional yoga medicine. Because the more I understood the energetic force beneath the surface, the more it made sense. Not tangibly, but I understood, because that was what I was living. So another analogy in this regard about the thoughts and feelings, that actions stem from thoughts and feelings, is the wrong map, okay? Imagine trying to reach a destination using a flawed map. No matter how often you follow it, you'll end up in the wrong place. Similarly, your actions are guided by your stress or fear-based thinking, or if they are, no amount of fixes will lead to lasting health because you're going to be always off course. But we try as we might, get a new wrong map. But we have to go in and understand where the triggers and our deep subconscious mind, the parts of us that we try to hide, the parts of us that we try to lie about without even knowing. I did this for a long time, so I know. And unless we come clean and understand these factors, we'll never truly go towards lasting health and healing. So, why does lab tests reflect the effects, not causes? Well, lab tests are snapshots of your body's current state. It changes from hour to hour, minute to minute, and they tell you what's out of balance. High blood sugar, low progesterone, elevated cortisol, but they don't reveal the internal and external pressures that create those imbalances. Here's how this distinction plays out in real life. Let's talk about cortisol imbalance. We talk about this with respect to stress a lot. Well, elevated cortisol often leads to weight gain, fatigue, and thyroid suppression. And functional doctors may recommend supplements like ashwagandha to lower cortisol. And while this may help in the short term, it doesn't address the chronic stress and the fear-based thinking that caused the cortisol spike in the first place. I hope you're following. Second is hormonal imbalance. A lot of women come to me, they just know their hormones are out of whack, and they likely are. But they're given bioidentical hormones, which often treat low progesterone or high estrogen. Now, this can alleviate symptoms temporarily by externally addressing the problem, but if the underlying cause is lifestyle of constant busyness and poor sleep hygiene, the imbalance will return as soon as the supplements are stopped. And these forms of exogenous hormones, they tell your organs to stop working. So it's in long term, it's working against you. And then the third thing is digestive issues. A functional doctor may diagnose dysbiosis or leaky gut, which I used to do all the time, prescribing antibiotics and elimination diets. However, if the root cause is anxiety-induced gut-brain dysfunction, the gut issues will persist until the nervous system is regulated. And this is why a lot of functional medical patients are going from one doctor to another, still looking for answers without any forms of healing. And they're frustrated because the root cause is never addressed properly. So it's all about regulating the true root causes with the E.A.S.E method. Okay? Root causes aren't problems that can be fixed with pills, powders, or restrictive diets. They require a shift in how you live, think, and respond to life. So I created the E.A.S.E method, which provides the tools to regulate the entire system, the mind, body, and emotions for lasting health. And this skill is what you need to live the best life. Number 1, E stands for enteric system. Eating whole, simple meals and chewing your food slowly, understanding the digestive process, aids in your gut health. But more importantly, it brings awareness to nourishing the body, turning mealtime into a moment of connection rather than stress. A in the E stands for autonomic nervous system regulation, because learning to calm your nervous system with breath work, meditation, and intentional movement prevents cortisol surges and keeps your body in balance. Number 3 is somatic awareness. Movement isn't just about exercise. It's about developing a relationship with your body. Stretching, yoga, or simply feeling your feet on the ground helps you to reconnect with your physical self. And lastly, it's empowered psychology, because mindset, in all my experience, 25 years of clinical experience, mindset is really the master key. Shifting from fear-based thinking to curiosity and empowerment transforms how you approach health. And instead of seeking external fixes, you learn to trust your body's innate healing ability. So without foundational shifts, nothing works long-term. If you don't address these foundational elements, no amount of supplements, lab tests, or specialized diets will lead to sustainable health. You'll be stuck in an endless cycle of chasing symptoms without ever finding real relief. And this is truly what happens in all the displaced patients that are seeking the next thing. Remember, you guys, true healing comes from within. It's from learning how to regulate and understand your systems and reclaim the power over your health in this way. So I just want to lastly close with an invitation. I want you to join me to reclaim your health. Because if this resonates with you, I invite you to work with me. You can click the link below to go and request this. And if you're following me on social media, you can DM me. And together we'll use the E.A.S.E method to address the actual root causes of your imbalance and build a foundation for lasting whole person healing. So I want you to empower yourself to break free from the cycle of symptom chasing and step into a life of vitality and balance no matter where you are. Listen, I have kidney failure. I'm on dialysis most days, and I'm awaiting a transplant that already failed. I've got everything working against me. But it's the mindset, the shift from being defined by your circumstance and choosing to understand what I can do about it is key to longevity and health. And I am so thankful I get to do this work. So I invite you to work with me and let me guide you to longevity and health for the rest of your life by teaching you the skills. Get empowered. I'll see you guys all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Mind Your Health podcast. I hope you found our discussion insightful and inspiring. Remember, your journey to wellness is a continuous process, and every step you take brings you closer to optimal health. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit. Stay also connected with us on @Dr. Connie Chung on YouTube as well as Instagram for more resources and updates. Until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your body,